Hey ladies, my name is Anwar Wyatt and I want to welcome you to today's masterclass. Now, as you can see, the title of today's masterclass is Get Your Guy, 5 Shifts Smart and Successful Women Need to Make to Finally Find Love. I am so excited to have you here. Now, I know that you've probably been on other webinars or masterclasses before with a bunch of preamble and BS, but that's not me. Girl, we don't have that kind of time. We have to find and get your guy. So I want to get to the good stuff as quickly as possible. Sound like a plan? All right, awesome. Let's get started. So, who is this for? So, this is for women who are smart, successful, and open minded and are totally ready to rock out their love lives, but just can't seem to attract and keep a good partner and make it last. This is for women who are really ready to find the love of their life and make it a top priority to either start a family or to have someone to grow old with. So, if you want the love of your life and to get your guy without settling and you don't ever want to date again, then this is for you. Now, if you want to attract your soulmate this year, then pay special attention in this masterclass because this is going to be the best 30 minutes you've spent on yourself and your love life in a very long time. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to attract your soulmate relationship this year, even if that feels impossible right now. I'm going to teach you how to claim your power and harness your feminine energy to magnetize men with ease. How to date effectively so you aren't wasting your time with flakes or losers or sex-crazed maniacs. And how to level up your attractability so that you can attract high-quality men, even if that sounds too good to be true right now. My promise to you is that in this masterclass, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy to attract, get, and keep your guy. I know that might seem impossible right now, but my clients are doing it consistently, and if they can do it, girl, I know that you can too. And I'm going to show you that exact strategy right now. But before we get into that, I just want to check in with you. Does any of this sound like you? Do you find yourself going out with guys that you're just not really attracted to, but you feel like dating is a numbers game and you just have to? Or are you worried that you might be pushing away the guys that you want and the men that are successful and handsome? They don't come and talk to you, but the ones that you're not interested in actually do? Do people ever tell you that you're intimidating and you're frustrated because you aren't sure how to change that without giving up who you are or your dreams, and you just don't want to play games? Are you scared to open your heart again because you just can't take another heartbreak? Or do you worry that you don't know how to have an intimate, committed relationship anymore, even if a great guy actually does come along? Do you secretly believe that deep down you are broken or unlovable? Or do you feel like love is hopeless to the point where when you see other people getting married or having pregnancy announcements on Facebook or on Instagram, you feel a little bit envious and jealous and are wondering, why not me? What's wrong with me? And finally, are you secretly terrified that you'll end up alone with no one to grow old with? If any of that sounds like you, then I have some really good news for you. None of these are actually the real problem. They are just symptoms. The real problem is that you haven't made what I call the shifts. And we're going to talk about those in just a second. Once you make those shifts, you're going to totally stand out and you're going to meet great guys everywhere. You'll feel really comfortable about dating online and getting what you want. It'll be easy for you to move on from bad breakups from the past because you will actually heal instead of just getting over it. And you'll be so happy that everything in your life just gets better, including your career, friendships, and entire outlook on life and your future. Once you make these shifts, you'll have unshakable confidence, self-love, and power. You're not going to have to guess what to do or say as you go through the dating process and the relationship stage. It'll just come naturally. You're also going to change your destructive dating patterns and stop attracting men who just don't work for you, like the non-committal, unsuccessful, and unavailable men. And start actually having high-quality men who come into your life on your terms and not just theirs. And yes, there are tons of men just like this who actually want commitment. I've seen that, and my clients attract them often. I love helping women through this process. Despite all the pain of modern dating, my clients are absolutely getting the love that they want and deserve. And they're not having to feel horrible about themselves along the way or play silly games. So it's not about their weight, race, location, or career, or how many kids they have, or any past trauma that they may have or endured. The women who are totally crushing their love lives stop blaming men and start taking some serious, deliberate action. Now, if you don't take action, it can really cost you. There are actually huge benefits to being married or coupled. People that are married have better health, they live a decade longer, have way more passion, and they report higher levels of happiness, and they make 4 times more money than single people because they can take opportunities and seize them, like starting their own businesses or investing in things like real estate or the stock market. So who am I? Let me introduce myself. My name is Anwar White, and I am the founder of the coaching program Get Your Guy, which is all about helping smart and successful women find their forever love by helping them step into their queendom and femininity, and less from a head space and more from a mix of both head and heart. I'm actually married to the love of my life, and we have 3 beautiful children together. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, this all started when I went to an Ivy League business school and got my MBA. There I met amazing professional women, but for some reason, they were having trouble finding love and staying single, even after 5 or 10 years after graduation. This is when I told some of my amazing classmates to let me help them. And within 3 to 6 months, they had great boyfriends. And within 1 to 2 years, they were basically engaged or married. These classmates then told their other professional friends, their doctor friends, lawyer friends, engineering girlfriends about working with me. And before I knew it, I was completely booked. Now I help women all around the world get into great, loving relationships. And I'm known for helping women really heal their past trauma, break free of any sort of, family pathologies, and find the love of their life as a certified dating, love, and relationship expert. To be honest with you, I could really be doing pretty much anything in the world. I worked in corporate America for a while, and it just wasn't fulfilling. I believe I have a deeper purpose to really help women to create lasting love and lots of passion. So I teach from what I know works from years of helping countless women. Look, truth be told, I was doing some form of this since the playgrounds of elementary school, helping the girls meet the boys and vice versa. I would say it's in my blood, and I absolutely love what I do. The interesting thing about working with smart and successful women is that they have special challenges they must deal with to find love and to get their guy. This work is deeply personal to me. My grandmother was married 3 times, as was my mother. My older sister got a divorce a few years ago, and I helped her, and now she's engaged since last year. These results are often the case. 80% of my clients actually get into a great relationship within 6 months, even if they've been single for like a decade or so. So if you want to win in love, and I know you do or else you wouldn't be on this presentation, make sure you're taking some notes. So let me tell you a little bit about how I discovered the 5 shifts. Like I already told you, I've gotten the chance to work with hundreds of women from all around the world. And you know what's really interesting? Some of these women had incredible breakthroughs where they went from low confidence in love and chronically single to self-confident, sexy, feminine, high-value queens just in months, married in years, and having kids and making beautiful families shortly thereafter. Some other women would get results that I thought were also good, like making breakthroughs in self-care and love and getting dates left and right. And some of them were women who struck out and didn't make any progress and just stayed stuck. As I began to look at these women, and it wasn't just the women I was working with, it was also the women that my relationship coaching colleagues were also working with. As I observed all of these women specifically over the past few years, I got to notice that the top achievers, the women that got the best results, did 5 very specific things. Just 5 things. It didn't matter if they had never had a boyfriend, or if they were curvier or older, or lived in certain undesirable locations. I'm using quotation marks. The women who succeeded were the ones that were doing these 5 things. I believe that if you can do these 5 things, that you will be able to gain tremendous confidence, self-awareness, and true, authentic love and happiness. So like I was saying, there are 5 key shifts that you must make so that you are able to attract and get your guy in a matter of months, and also have a blast while doing it. And I'm going to walk you through all of those shifts on this session now. So the first shift is to intensify your feminine energy. And yes, the irony of a gay man telling women to be more feminine is not lost on me. But more seriously, this is where I see many women get stuck. You might have heard a lot about femininity and feminine energy, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. Femininity doesn't have to be overly girly or dumb. Guys see right through this, and they find this to be a total red flag of an insecure woman and run the other way. Again, that's not what I want for you. Your feminine energy is unique to you. It comes from your soul, naturally. You already have it. My job as a relationship coach is to help you harness it so that you can attract and flirt like crazy with any guy, anywhere, anytime, while still staying within your integrity. I think as a gay man, I have a unique insight into both feminine and masculine energies, the yin and the yang, which makes me an expert on attraction. So when you put your focus on your feminine energy and not on the guy, you're going to bring the dance of attraction and courtship back to its natural balance. This requires less analytical thought and logic and more emotion and feeling. I say all that to say, what got you the good grades and the great career trajectory won't help you here. It's a whole new skill set that must be learned. Once you master this skill set, though, you will be in charge and have this power of attraction instead of feeling like you're being brainwashed by insecure pickup artists or guys that are manipulative. So just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about when I say masculine energy, Masculine energy is all about being the doer, the problem solver, the more assertive. As I said before, this probably served you well in school and got you the good grades and served you well in your career, but it probably isn't working well for you in your dating, and I'll tell you why. Men don't want and are not attracted to masculine energy, or they would just be trying to date men, period, right? Men don't want to feel like they have to compete with your masculine energy when they get home from work. They want to feel nurtured and supported. That's why your degree, your awesome career, your achievements are not going to make him fall in love with you. To be honest with you, he doesn't really care about them. He cares about whether you make him actually just feel good. It's as simple as that. So here's one of my clients, Nikki, and she hadn't gone out on a date in like 6 months, and she was still getting over heartbreak. She actually hadn't had a relationship in about 3 years or so because she was stuck on this ex that got away, you know? She's a super smart doctor in California, but she just didn't know how to make dating work for her. And she wanted to know how to date without having to dumb herself down and not really like being herself, which was what she was doing before. She was following advice from her sisters and her friends and magazines and random blogs, but that also wasn't working. So when she decided to work with me, she learned how to follow what felt good and right. And that means that she stayed in her power. And because of that, instead of getting nervous or being guarded, she learned how to flirt with confidence and magnetize men. I helped her find her feminine energy. And that's how everything kind of shifted. When I say everything shifted, I mean, handsome men started asking her out and smiling at her. And even her male colleagues started talking and flirting with her more, saying, things like, something is different with you. And she even had one of the most romantic dates of her life, where they spent all day all around Los Angeles getting to know each other and flirting and talking. So I say all this to say that my clients are attracting really high quality men because they are finding their natural feminine energy and turning that into feminine action. And I know that you can as well. So the bottom line here is that you should totally be getting asked out in person. And if not, then something is missing. Men are completely captivated by what they don't have, which is your feminine energy. You already have it. It just hasn't been harnessed, and perhaps no one has ever told you how to be feminine in a way that's authentic and really powerful. Once you tap into this, you're going to be able to have your pick of the guys and be totally set up to move beyond the first dates into an actual real relationship. So the second shift in this presentation is so important. Drop the list, girl. And you know the list I'm talking about. Okay, so let's talk about this list that you have, whether it's in your head or on a piece of paper somewhere. I want to talk about this list because this list, it's killing your chance for love. And I'm just going to give it to you straight, no chaser. Now, I know what you're probably saying to yourself, right? I've got a lot to offer, I'm super together, classy, smart, successful, financially secure, etc. Why should I settle? So no one is saying that you have to settle. But we need to think about what we are looking for in a different way and not the predefined mold of how he should look, talk, act, and what he should have. So what I want to do right now is actually just take a step back for a second and think about what your potential list looks like and how you are actually cutting yourself off from finding love. So a lot of the women that I work with say that they want a man with a graduate degree. That's only 13% of the population, right? They want a man that's 6 feet or taller. That's only about 15% of the population. They want a 6-figure earner. That's 9% of the population. And they want a man between 30 and 50 years old. That's 40% of the male population. If you multiply all of these together, because you want all of this, for example, these criteria alone just represent 0.07% of men. Yeah, that's 1/15th of 1%. Now I know why it's probably hard for you to find quality men. I had to break it down like this because I don't think that you have probably ever done this before, but it's important to know. I've also broken it down like this because I really want to stress the point that this list is not serving you. When single and looking, we are always aspiring to find that perfect someone and are quick to judge when a potential prospect doesn't really meet the ideals we have created in our heads or who or what that perfect someone might be. And it's totally human nature, right? We want the very best. But I want to remind you that we ourselves are not perfect. So how can we actually demand perfection from our future partner? Your desire for perfection is probably what helped you and drove you to attain the amazing things in your life. But projecting this onto your non-existent partner is unfair and will leave you disappointed and alone, thinking that you're better than everyone else, and that is just no fun. Trust me, I have been there, I know exactly what this feels like, and it's not cute. Earlier, I said that I don't want you to settle, but I want to actually correct that. I do want you to settle, but I just want you to settle for the right things, like kindness and honesty, emotional availability, feeling comfortable with your person, your guy, rather than a list of ideals. No, I know you're probably saying, but he's got to be hot. I got to be attracted to him. Totally get it. Physical attraction is so important, no matter what anyone says. And I'm not saying to ignore it, but I want you to keep in mind that a really good looking person becomes less attractive pretty quickly if they're a jerk, right? Just like an average person can become really beautiful if you discover after spending time with them and getting to know them better that they have a truly big heart. Being less rigid and more open-minded regarding certain physical attributes that probably aren't that important in the big picture is really important. And from doing this work for such a long time, what I've realized is that love comes in a variety of different packages. So it is critical that you're as open-minded as possible. So this is what it looks like in action. When Brenda came to work with me after struggling for about a decade and continuously attracting not so great men, the men that really didn't want to commit and just wanted to have situationships with her, we realized that she was really having a hard time being open-minded because she had a certain idea of what her ideal guy looked like, how much he made, what he did, so forth and so on. When she started working with me, she said that I was her Hail Mary. She didn't want to end up like a cat lady. Now, these were her words, not mine. And she even wanted to start a family. And so 4 weeks from when she started to work with me, she wrote me the following note. She wrote me and said, I started dating an awesome guy. He has his own house, he has his own car, he has his own business, is totally chivalrous, and keeps giving me what I want and need. And he keeps stepping up with his level of interest and commitment because I'm being open and vulnerable, just like the way you taught me. I'm happy to report that now they are traveling and planning a life together, and she says this is the happiest that she's been in a very long time. She also went on to say that she didn't really know how powerful it was for her to be this way and that it's even helping her career. So the bottom line here is that if you're not dating often, it's probably because your list is getting in the way. When you get this right, you will get super clear on what your non-negotiables are and stick with finding someone who has those in common. Your non-negotiables should be very few, maybe 3 at most, not a long list of 10 or 20 different ones. I want you to date based on values, those things that will matter 10 years from now, even 40 years from now. That's how you maintain and set yourself up for relationship success. That brings us to our third shift. Believe in love again. I know, it sounds super cheesy, but just hear me out for a second. I get it. In your experience, men cause pain. And since you don't want any more pain, you've decided to square off dating for now. It's not that dating never crosses your mind, but every time you feel that yearning for love, your negative thoughts keep flooding back, reminding you of all the reasons you shouldn't even try to get back out there. But let's be honest with each other. You do want to fall in love again. You just don't want to get hurt again. Again, I get it. The problem is that you have no hope that this is even possible. And as the months and years go by, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't believe in love, so you don't fall in love. And that's the sad thing. Again, I want to repeat. You will never fall in love if you don't believe in love. I have helped hundreds of former clients like you let go of the past, embrace the present, and find true love. My inbox is overflowing with success stories from women who have followed my advice. There's one major difference between my happily married women and the ones who continue to remain sad and alone. The happily married women are the ones who believed in love. I'm not here to fight with you. You can ignore it, you can fight it, you can deny it, but it's the absolute truth. You can't achieve a goal unless you can see yourself achieving it. You wouldn't start a diet if you didn't believe you'd lose some weight. You wouldn't go to law school if you didn't believe you'd be a lawyer. You wouldn't run a marathon if you didn't believe you'd cross the finish line. Beliefs are powerful. If you believe the worst about relationships and men, it's next to impossible to have a relationship with a man. So here's Karen's story. Karen had gotten divorced in 2013 and was feeling afraid that she was too old to attract anyone ever again. She dated a little bit, but kept finding men who just weren't right. She went through my Get Your Guy program and was committed and coachable, and a couple of months ago, she met a wonderful man who, as she says, treats me better than anyone I've ever been with. I'm letting him lead, I'm letting him be himself, I'm affectionate, I encourage him, I thank him, I praise him, I love him. And 2 months into this, I feel more relaxed and content and peaceful and satisfied than I have ever felt in a relationship. Karen had to stay optimistic and realize that her last guy was not her future guy. I truly believe that her open mindset allowed her to persevere in her dating journey instead of getting jaded, and she was nicely rewarded for it. The bottom line here is that you want a loving, passionate relationship with a man who accepts you in full and makes your life better every single day. This isn't a fantasy. This is reality, but only for women who make it a reality. There are hundreds of millions of women who are no smarter, no kinder, no prettier than you, and they are in healthy, long-lasting relationships right now, and I truly believe that you can be in one as well. So what did these happily married women figure out that allowed them to let go of their past, keep dating, and find the men of their dreams? They didn't give up, they stayed optimistic, and they believed in love. Again. That leads me to my fourth shift, prioritizing compatibility over chemistry. I'm pretty sure you know what chemistry is, right? It's those butterflies in your stomach, but I wanted to provide you with a definition of compatibility. Now, compatibility is a state in which two things are able to exist or occur together without problems or conflict, and or a feeling of sympathy and friendship, like-mindedness. My thought about this as it pertains to relationships is that if you have a 7 in chemistry and a 10 in compatibility with someone, you have a really nice life ahead of yourself. The problem is that when we get a 7 in chemistry, many women often think it's not enough and chase for the 10 in chemistry. They make the mistake of being driven by chemistry when they're dating, and this often affects whether they see someone for a second date because, quote unquote, there wasn't a spark. However, studies show that the chemical rush you get from a relationship disappears between 18 and 24 months. Now, if you speak with a lot of your married friends, they'll probably tell you that marriage is about making hundreds of small decisions every day. Where are you going to eat? What are you going to eat? What are you going to watch on TV? What are you going to do next weekend? What activities are you going to put the kids in? What home improvement thing are you going to do next? Where are you going to travel to next? Etc. If you and your future partner are not on the same page, you all will be fighting every day and your relationship will be a big pain rather than a pleasure. The only way of figuring out if you have true compatibility with your date is spending lots of time with him. It is generally hard to make that determination in just one date. So if your date was not a total negative, then you should probably go on another date to see if it can actually get better. Many women won't do this and cut a guy off after the first date, blocking yourself from someone who can potentially be your forever plus one. So here's my client, Jackie. And Jackie is your typical smart and successful woman who is a romantic at heart, right? She loves her Hallmark rom-coms and was convinced that if she didn't feel the butterflies on the first date, that it wasn't meant to be. She had gone on at least 50 dates, first dates, without any second dates because of this mentality. She would just cut guys off immediately. When we coached her to focus on the compatibility aspect of her dates and her dating journey, thereby giving her time to figure all of this out, she was getting tons of second dates. And after about a month, had a boyfriend who cherished her, whose values were surprisingly aligned with hers, even though she didn't think that this was the case on the first date. She would have never given this guy the time of day to discover him to be the amazing boyfriend that she always wanted. It was only until she was able to actually look for the compatibility factor and not be so focused on the chemistry factor that it blinded her from a really great guy. So the bottom line here is that compatibility is the crux of any relationship. And if you have it with the person that you're dating, great, because chemistry generally grows as you get to know a compatible mate. In general, chemistry fades, and if you are basing your initial dating decisions on it, your dating life is probably going nowhere. So focus on compatibility, and you will be in great shape. Chemistry should also be a factor, but it should not be your biggest factor in dating. Now, that leads us to our final shift. Get a mentor. If you are serious about finding love, you gotta get serious about finding a mentor. You might be asking yourself why you should get a mentor. This is a big, vital shift. You've already been out there dating, and it hasn't really been working out for you. So my question to you would be, how are you going to transform some of these limiting beliefs after 30 years on your own? This is why I'm saying you should get a mentor ASAP. A mentor is someone that has already walked the path successfully and has probably helped so many women before you. This mentor can keep you accountable, help you break patterns, blind spots, and the behaviors that have been keeping you stuck for decades and get you to your desired goal of finding love and getting your guy in the shortest amount of time possible. Mentors also have roadmaps. You wouldn't want to get on the road without your GPS or Waze anyway, right? Or else it's going to take you a ton of time to get to where you want to go. You'd go down dead ends, you'd get lost, find yourself in shady neighborhoods. A mentor is going to accelerate you. Look, the most successful people have mentors, from Oprah to Michelle Obama to Julia Roberts to Angelina Jolie. Believe it or not, they also have limiting beliefs in their respective work. They know that they don't have to recreate the wheel, and you don't have to either. There's never been a better time to get serious about what is actually holding you back for 25 years or more. I want you to give up this notion of just trying so that you can actually get the results you're looking for and get your guy. What I've learned in doing this work is that success is 80% mindset and 20% action. If you are serious about finding your guy this year, then you will need a new winning mindset and consistent support from a mentor to keep you accountable. So you don't slip back into your old patterns and ways. So let's take a minute to see why mindset is so crucial. Mindset is all about the quality of your beliefs and your intention. When you level it up, you also level up and expand what is possible for you and get yourself laser focused on what you need to accomplish. This in turn gets you to not just take action, but inspired action with your natural instincts. And then you get the amazing outcome of getting your guy and getting to your happy. To change your current outcome, it's all about changing your mindset and taking action. Finding a mentor will change the trajectory of your life. A mentor helps you create lasting change instead of doing it alone and just collecting more and more information, with the same old books and seminars and articles online and weekend workshops. Again, mentors are able to create transformation, not just add more information. Getting a mentor is really saying to the universe that you are ready for love and ready to attract and get your guy right now. Here's the thing. You go through training for everything else in life. Doctors go to medical school, lawyers go to law school, except for relationship training. For some reason, we don't think we need to work on that. Getting into a relationship and spending the rest of your life with someone is a really big deal. And for those of you who want children, actually bringing another being into this world is a huge deal. Trying to do proper relationships without the training is crazy. I personally spent tens of thousands of dollars on mentoring myself, and every time it was a big decision. And I'm proud of those decisions because in those instances, I was saying yes to the universe and saying yes to me and choosing me and prioritizing my needs. And I want to empower you to do the same. So today I promise that you'd learn how to attract your soulmate relationship this year, even if that feels impossible right now, how to claim your power and harness your feminine energy to magnetize men with ease, how to date effectively so you aren't wasting your time with flakes, losers, or sex-crazed maniacs, and how to level up your attractability so that you can attract high-quality men, even if that sounds too good to be true right now. Here's what you need to win in love. You have to intensify your feminine energy so that you can naturally attract your guy. You have to drop your list to help you truly accept your future guy. That means the good and the bad, because this is what being in a relationship is all about. You have to believe in love so that you can actually fall in love. And you have to prioritize compatibility over chemistry to ensure a healthy, long-lasting relationship. And finally, you have to invest in mentoring so that you can stop acquiring information and start the actual transformation of your love life. So now you have a choice. You can either take all of this information that I've given you and you can totally forget all about it. You can continue to feel lonely and depressed and stay single. You can continue wasting time online or on blind dates with low-value guys, wearing yourself out, feeling panicked and hopeless, distrustful, or fearful. You can continue attracting the wrong guys who never show up for you and you can stay frustrated. Or if you are absolutely done with all of that bullshit and struggle and you want to be the one getting your guy and planning your wedding, then here's what I have for you. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak to you personally about how you can apply these shifts into your life starting today. Whatever your biggest challenges are, we've seen it all and we know how to overcome it. In this session, we will work with you to craft a step-by-step game plan to fall in love with yourself, take your throne as a queen, and attract and get your guy. And the cost is absolutely free. On this call, we're going to gain clarity on 3 major things. What's holding you back in your love life, what you actually want when it comes to love, and what steps you must take to get your guy. We do this because we love helping amazing single women get out of their own way so that they can get their guy. Queen, this is your birthright. It shall not be denied. We're also really good at what we do, and we love it. Plus, we know that you may want our help to transform your love life. If so, we can definitely discuss that and see if it's a good fit for both of us. If not, that's fine too. So I want to be crystal clear once and for all who this is for. Now, if you aren't willing to work at this, and that's totally fine if you aren't, and if you just want more information to add to your knowledge that isn't getting you the results, then this isn't for you. You must be coachable, open-minded, and willing to invest in yourself and do what it takes to put yourself first and get your guy. This is for women, smart, successful women, who are committed to being in a loving relationship within the next 6 months or less. If that's you, then book a session right now because spaces do fill up quite quickly. So to apply, you can click the button below, or you can go to www.getyourguycoaching.com/apply. Spaces are very limited, so sign up now. It will take you to a calendar, so just choose the most convenient time for you. Fill out our application. It's like 6 or 7 questions. And this will be the best 45 minutes you have ever spent working on your love life. After this call, in 6 months' time, you'll be the one in a loving relationship planning your future. Now, before I go, I just want to tell you a quick story about one of my clients. She came to me because she was about to be married and the guy called the entire thing off. She was absolutely devastated, heartbroken, her confidence was shot. In just a few weeks of working together, Nabila started seeing how inauthentic she had been and how her true self was never in the relationship. As we started working together more and more, she started moving in the most magnificent way, really stepping into her queendom and got clear exactly how she wanted to show up in her relationships. I'm very pleased to tell you right now that she is actually in a relationship with an amazing man who cannot get enough of her and where she can be her true self for once in her life. I actually think wedding bells will probably be coming soon, and it makes me so happy to see her winning. She said to me, "I wish I had done this work 10 years ago because this has changed my life." Yes, Queen. I can't wait to do the same for you. Again, my name is Anwar White, and I'm honored that you attended this masterclass. Talk to you soon.